All right, we are continuing our work on data. The first video that you should have watched would have been about statistical questions, so if you have not watched that one, go ahead and go back and watch that one first. And then we are going to start talking about samples and populations. So if we look at this question, how many minutes does an average sixth grader play video games in a night? Let's suppose that you're investigating this statistical question. Who would you have to ask this question to? Well, the question is addressed to an average sixth grader, so we're going to have to talk to sixth graders. How many sixth graders would you have to ask? Well, we know asking one isn't enough. It has to be a group. Could a group of 5 work? Does it have to be bigger? Maybe 10 or 20 or 50 or 100? How big does the group have to be? And how would you select which sixth graders you asked? Would it be okay to just use your friends, or maybe just use your advisory, or just use your math class? Or does it have to be different than that? That's what we're going to be talking about. So, populations versus samples. If we're looking at the same question, how many minutes does an average sixth grader play video games in a night? First, I want to give you some definitions. Population is the whole group, right? We know this word population. If we're talking about what's the population of Iowa, we're talking about how many people live within the borders of the state of Iowa. That's a population. A sample is a subgroup of the population that represents the whole. So when I talk with students about this, usually the thing they connect to the word sample is going to a place like Costco and they're giving out samples of their food. So when we think about that, now let's say Costco is giving out samples of pizza. They're not giving you a whole pizza to try in their store. They're giving you just a little corner piece of pizza, but it's designed so that it gives you enough of a taste that it makes you want that whole pizza, go and buy that whole pizza, right? Okay, so it is a small section, that's the subgroup part, but it gives you the taste of what the whole thing would be. Okay, so a sample is just a little piece, but it has to represent that whole population, that whole group. So in this question, our population is sixth graders. And our sample would be something like if we picked 30 sixth graders at random. Okay, so we're not surveying every sixth grader, we're surveying 30 of them. Now, when we're picking a sample, we also need to be careful of bias. Okay, so you've heard this word before. Biased would mean that the sample does not represent the population. Okay, it doesn't include enough of the whole group, or it has something wrong with it that would show favorability to a certain person. Okay, we want a sample that is unbiased, which means that it does represent the population. Okay, so an example would be, for this question, it would be very biased of a sample if I picked the 30 members of the video game club. Why would that be biased? It would be, we're talking about video games, and then we're asking students who obviously like video games enough that they joined a video game club. Okay, so that would be an example of a biased sample. Unbiased would be if I picked 36 graders at random without any preference. And I'm going to talk on the next slide about how we can do that. So, to be unbiased, we want it to be a sample that represents the whole larger population. It should be selected at random without any preference to who is in the sample. And it needs to be large enough to provide accurate data. So ways that you could do this would be to use a computer to do the selection. So if you just have a list on the computer and then have the computer pick who is in the group, then you don't have any control of it, so that would be a random sample. Another way would be to go through a list and select by a specific interval. So if I got a list of all of the sixth graders in our school, and then I just picked every fifth student on that list, no matter who it is, then that would be a good way to get an unbiased random sample. And then the last way would be to divide it into small, non-overlapping groups and select a sample from each group. So an example of that would be if I had every advisory teacher at our school pick 2 students, and that would be my sample. That would be a good way to make sure that I have a mix of 6th and 7th graders from our school, or a mix of boys and girls. And if we're talking about that video game question, I would definitely have a mix of students who liked video games and don't really like video games, because there wasn't any preference into who was picked. So let's look at this situation. Mr. Stevens wanted to know where high school students prefer to vacation. He surveyed every 10th student in line at the cafeteria. What is the population? So what is the whole group that Mr. Stevens wants to know about? Well, he wants to know about high school students, so that's his population. Now, what is the sample? The sample is who he actually talked to. So he surveyed every 10th student in line at the cafeteria. So every 10th student is his sample. Is that biased or unbiased? Would using every 10th student in line at the cafeteria be a biased sample or an unbiased sample? That's unbiased because it's random. Okay, he's just going through that list like I mentioned, and the list is just the line at the cafeteria. He's picking every 10th student no matter who it is. So that's a randomly selected sample. Let's look at another example. A radio station wanted to determine the types of music their listeners enjoy, so they surveyed the music genre preference of all the attendees of a country music concert. What is the population? Okay. Who does the radio station want to know about as a whole? They want to know about their listeners, so their radio station listeners. What is the sample? Who did they actually survey? They surveyed the people that were at a country music concert. Is that biased or unbiased? That's biased because if all of these people are at a country music concert, they clearly like country music, and that might not be representative of all of their listeners. Okay, so it's biased because only country music fans were surveyed. One more example. After making 2,000 watches, the manufacturer tested the first 15 watches for defects. What's the population? The population, the whole group, would be the 2,000 watches. What's the sample? The sample that they looked at were the first 15. Is that biased or unbiased? That's biased because they're only looking at the first 15 watches, so they didn't spread it out through the whole group of 2,000. And 15 is not that many. Right? 15 is really small when we're talking about 2,000 being produced. And so one of our points was that it needs to be large enough to represent the whole group. And 15 out of 2,000 is a little bit too small. We would want that to be closer to probably 100 for it to be a good representation. So what to do next? You can rewatch this video as much as you need to. Remember, it kind of serves as your notes. Use the last video on statistical questions as well. Then complete the independent practice that's posted on Classroom. It's not something you need to turn in, but please do it so that you can make sure that you are understanding things. Use the answer key that is also on Classroom to make sure that you're understanding things. If you have any questions, go back to these videos to try to get some help from it, ask someone at home, or send your math teacher an email. Then your last step, and please make sure you do this last, is to complete the check-in that's on Classroom. Your teacher will see this, will send you back some feedback. It's not a grade, but we do want to know how you're doing. So if you have any questions, please send us an email. We would love to hear from you. We miss you guys. We hope you're doing well. Have a great rest of your day.